Leadership is not a title. It's not a corner office or a fancy suit. It's not the number of people who report to you, nor the size of your following. Leadership is responsibility. Leadership is service. Leadership, at its highest form, is sacrifice. But leadership excellence, that's something even greater. Leadership excellence is the courage to rise when it's easier to stay seated. It's the conviction to act with integrity when compromise is more convenient. It's the strength to carry others when your own feet are weary. And most of all, it's the humility to remember that leadership is never about you, it's about those you serve. We often equate leadership with authority. But in truth, leadership is about influence and impact, not power and prestige. Excellence in leadership begins in the heart, not in the boardroom, not in the battlefield, not on social media, but in the heart. The heart that listens, the heart that feels, the heart that leads with empathy, not ego. We've all seen leaders who had the brains, the strategy, the vision, but they lacked the heart. And because of that, they left behind broken teams, fractured trust, and disillusioned followers. On the other hand, we remember the leaders who may not have had all the answers, but they had the courage to say, "I believe in you." The grace to say, "I'm sorry." The strength to say, "Let's keep going." That is the kind of leadership the world is starving for. And that is the kind of leadership excellence you are called to embody. To be a leader is to be watched, studied, and followed, often without your knowledge. That's a burden, but it's also a sacred gift. Because every decision you make, every value you uphold, every person you empower, it ripples far beyond what you can see. You might be leading a company, a classroom, a congregation, or just your own family. But no matter your scope, you matter. Your influence matters. You have the power to shape not only outcomes, but people. And leadership excellence demands that you wield that power with wisdom, with intention, and with love. Excellence requires courage, and I'm not talking about fearlessness. No, real courage is feeling the fear and showing up anyway. It's the CEO who makes the tough call that protects values over profits. It's the young activist who speaks truth to power knowing she may be ignored or ridiculed. It's the father who chooses presence over promotion. It's the nurse who leads her team through chaos with calm and compassion. Every act of courageous leadership writes a story worth following. You don't have to be loud to lead. But you do have to be brave. You have to be brave enough to stand alone at times. Brave enough to challenge the status quo. Brave enough to believe in a better tomorrow, even when today feels broken. Leadership excellence means not just doing what is popular, but doing what is right, even when no one applauds, even when it costs you. One of the greatest paradoxes of leadership is this: the more you give, the more you gain. The more you serve, the more powerful your influence becomes. Leadership excellence is rooted in servanthood. Not in domination, but in elevation, lifting others higher than yourself. Nelson Mandela once said, "It is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory." That is what great leaders do. They build others up. They create space for growth. They share credit. They take blame. They know that legacy isn't built on monuments, but on people, the lives touched, the dreams ignited, the courage awakened. So ask yourself, are you serving, or are you using? Are you elevating, or are you exploiting? Are you mentoring, or are you managing? The answers to these questions will define your impact more than any KPI ever could. There is no excellence without failure. And there is no great leader without scars. But where others see failure as the end, excellent leaders see it as feedback. As learning. As a necessary stop on the road to mastery. Leadership excellence is not about perfection. It's about resilience. It's about getting back up, again and again, and bringing others with you. When you fail, and you will, let it humble you, not harden you. Let it refine you, not define you. Some of the most powerful lessons you will ever teach will come from your most painful moments. Don't hide them. Share them. That's how we build trust. That's how we build teams that don't just survive, but thrive. An excellent leader sees what others can't, not because they have better eyes, but because they have greater faith. Leadership excellence is vision. It's seeing the seeds before the harvest. It's seeing potential before performance. It's believing in people before they believe in themselves. And it's having the patience to walk with them until they get there. Vision without action is a dream. Action without vision is chaos. But together, vision and action, they change the world. So don't just lead for today. Lead for the next decade. Lead for the next generation. Plant trees whose shade you may never sit under, because that is legacy. Here's the truth: leadership is contagious. People don't follow what you say. They follow what you model. If you model kindness, they will echo it. If you model excellence, they will rise to it. If you model accountability, they will own their work. But if you model fear, they will shrink. If you model blame, they will hide. If you model complacency, they will drift. So ask yourself, what am I modeling? What culture am I creating with my choices? Leadership excellence begins when you raise the standard for yourself before you ever demand it from others. At the end of the day, leadership is not about how far you go. It's about how far you help others go. It's not about your name on a building, it's about your fingerprints on people's hearts. It's about that young intern who becomes a confident leader because you believed in her. It's about the team that dared to innovate because you gave them permission to fail. It's about the community that stood stronger because you chose integrity over ego. That's leadership excellence. Not loud, not flashy, but real, deep, life-changing, and it is within your reach. So today, I challenge you, be the leader you wish you had. Led with heart, led with humility, led with boldness, led with purpose. Excellence doesn't come overnight. It comes choice by choice, day by day, conversation by conversation. It's built in how you show up when no one's watching. It's built in how you treat those who can't offer you anything in return. You don't need a spotlight to be excellent. Just show up, fully, authentically, compassionately. Because when you lead with excellence, you don't just change outcomes, you change lives. And in a world full of noise, confusion, and division, that kind of leadership is not just needed. It's essential. So rise up, stand tall, and lead, not just with competence but with character. That is leadership excellence. Thank you.